I just don't like the football team. Yeah, but it's I had good times in Pittsburgh. Andy Warhol Museum is fantastic. I don't know what goes. That's actually here. Park. Here's Warhol. Really great. Andy Warhol.
Andy Warhol.
Yeah.
Good. Raster data sets. This is coming later in this class, but it's important to present this as part of data types. So you can see here right now, it's a little bit overlay is vector data. Then you have the image. Remember when I said it's like a black and white image? Well, this is like a black and white image with multiple black and whites behind it. But then you have raster data sets. So I can use mathematical or statistical functions to calculate what is here versus here versus here. Let's say population density, business density, income, everything I can stack on top of each other. I could say I have a higher density here versus here. If this is 20 people stacked over, and this is only 5 people stacked here, it's 20 versus 5. Well, I can break a color code into that and say this is 20 versus 5. It's as simple. And the reason why I explain it to you guys as a black and white picture, because you have white and black, and 100% of different shades between them. The more black color you put into white, the more darker the picture turns into gray tones. Yeah? Same thing here. Right now you're moving from a green to a red to symbolize, this is next week's session, symbolize increasing colors. Why? Because we think green is great, red is bad. That's the reason why you look at temperature maps. Blue is really cold, red is really warm. Why? Because if you have a stove at home, old school stove, like with the spirals, and they're red glowing and you put your hand on it, it's really bad. That's how we associate that. The campfire is not necessarily glowing blue, is it? Amber red, it's giving you heat. Well, there are blue flames too in a barbecue grill, but you burn yourself too on that one too. Lessons learned. Two major data types are vector data, as in point, line, and polygon, and raster data. Like a black and white image, being symbolized through the value in each of those cells at the location. Then what's new, or a new-ish format, is what we consider 3D data, where you have here a see-through transparent model of buildings that are not necessarily, but give you context. You're aiming here at the really important parts, yeah? And in this case, you even show here with different data points. I think this is population data or something like this. What's the interest in the building height, exposure, etc. I think it was, no, it's actually visibility. Yeah? Different ideas on visualization and the research question behind that. The 3D we are going to do here is very simplistic. Runs for those who are in graphic design or architectural backgrounds. We're going to do extruded blocks. That's the fastest and easiest way. You draw, let's say, a square on the ground. You say it's 2 floors high, and you have a box. You basically say 2 floors equals 28 feet, something like that. When you're not necessarily putting extreme texture and balconies and different modeling types on it. There is actually software for that. We don't really have the time to go in depth. The little 3D block model you learn in this class is a double win in other classes. We had students who learned on one Saturday morning a 3D extrusion model, and 2 hours later they came into the site planning class and said, oh, can I do that model actually in GIS? I'm like, yeah, sure. We showed them again, and they actually did an animation. Yes, we can animate things. It's not your professor trying to animate you, but we can actually do data animation too. So there are a lot of cool things. Arc Pro is a little bit better than the old system. I show you the old system. and then our group in 3D. Yeah? It's a super simple event. If you know how to do that, piece of cake. Yeah? Like literally, draw a building footprint of your choice and say in the table, add a field, building height, and say in the table, building height equals. And the system does that completely for yourself. The buzzword for that is extrusion or extrude. Yeah? Not fancy 3D necessarily, but you can see almost that these are actually extrusion as well. Yeah? To simplify it. Less computing time. Yes?
So would it be possible to also get the Google Earth version and just transfer back and forth?
Yes and no. We'll see how technically we can go with import export of data. Yeah? Again, this could be simple, like this little grayish zone. You can say, okay, this is 20 feet high, pop it up. Here are the trees. Those trees are actually markers. Someone placed a dot on here and said, this is a small tree, this is a pine tree, and the database renders that for you. Yeah? So super easy stuff. Gotta finish this. All right. Network data, we will talk about that a little bit. Allocation problems. Well, we're in real estate. We're doing it reversely. We're looking at a location. I want to know if you can do this. Here, you try to find out, okay, what do you want? Where's your competitor? And in logistics, this is a common thing. Yeah? All right. Not wrong. Visualization maps. All right. We're getting to our GIS system today. I need you to get into the mindset on how we deal with maps and data. What happened on that day?
You kind of gave it away.
Oh, he was a fast runner. Titanic. Remember Titanic? What do you know about the Titanic? It sank. All right.
You want me to tell you how it sunk?
No.
Sure, I'll summarize it. It changed shipping, the way all ships were built. Okay.
He knows things. Titanic sunk. The reason why I bring this up is
That was a good
this is to talk about visualization. And I'll present this example actually before because I saw the visualization before I saw the map. And this is important to me because it shows how our technology we learn in this class puts humanity in your data. Puts a human factor into that story. Part of that story is, oh, I can map this out between, there used to be an interactive set and then security purposes they moved away with the airplane. But you can see on this example that the survival on the Titanic by male and female, bubble charts versus bar charts, aggregate value, crew members, survived yes or no, first class, second class, and third class. So, first class, top of the boat, upper suites. Third class, where's third class?
The bottom.
On bottom. What does this mean in terms of getting along or getting around on a boat?
Stairs.
You have a little bit different access issues. Yeah? So if you're at the bottom of the boat, 8 or 10 levels down, you have a few more steps to go up, change the run direction, versus you hop off on the balcony or just run around the balcony area. So what this actually shows here is the top level is who didn't survive. Yeah? On the bottom, you see who survived. By class and crew level and by gender. This is not taking away the idea of we had some losses. This is a good visualization. Yeah, it was interactive, so we can move things, change the type, and bubbles would pop up and smaller. It gives you an idea of what's going on. Titanic survivors versus death according to class and gender. Someone else, Sarah Speakers, did this, pulled out a variable data set and just put different visualization on that. So now you can see the idea of adult versus child based on age group, female and male, and class type. Not knowing what was the research purpose for this. Same data, different visualization. All right, here you can have a different explanation. Yeah, location in the boat might explain a few things. Does that really matter? Doesn't explain much, but it adds one more component. It adds age. You actually can see that there have been actually more children in the 3rd class. Pricing issue to do transatlantic growth. Then you have this. Found that, almost fell off my chair, and I figured I need that screenshot for visualization at fields. This is cool stuff. I don't know, unless you do this every day, I don't know how to read that. And I think I'm trying to explain to you how to read it, so let's skip that. What I want you to do is open up Explorer, Chrome, Firefox, any internet browser on your computer. And I want you to go to the page storymaps.sre.com. Let's see if I... Yep. And then I want you to go to gallery. And you can see a bunch of story maps.
I don't see gallery.
You gonna bounce your screen up on the
Top.
board?
Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong. Here, gallery. You see that? Let me go back. Do you see this? Do you comment to storymaps.rgs.com?
I'm already at Titanic.
You went straight to the Titanic. Fine, good. You're faster than me. All right. If you are seeing the gallery, and you go here on the gallery in the search function, and you go Titanic. Titanic.
I think we skipped it.
You see the geography class and fate of the Titanic passes. Okay? You have that.
Yeah.
All right. If you don't have it, lean back, relax, enjoy. The story is the same. So here you can see a part of the story map is the mapping interface. You see here some data. Yeah? You see even the source where they got it is Wikipedia. These are all the passengers. Story maps is a cool thing. We're going to spend pretty much like less than 10 minutes on story maps. Because there are more important things to teach you than story maps. But it's good to have the exposure, and you all will have some time to do story maps if you want. You have enough online credit points to do that as well. All right, so there's all passengers again, 1st class, 2nd class, 3rd class. You would say, duh, I've seen this in the table. But what you don't see in the table is this. X marks the spot. Yeah? You don't see in the table the route Titanic took, X and its destination, and you don't know where this person, Miss May Howard from North Welsham, Norfolk, England, if she did survive or if she didn't. You did not know where she boarded the Titanic, with whom she was traveling maybe, how old she was, what was her destination. And it says if she survived, yes or no. Even says which lifeboat she was on. So between the many ways bubble chart, the 8 diagrams, and this,
He's dead now.
which one would you choose? This.
This, please.
Because it puts humanity back on a statistical table.
There he is.
So, if you want to know who wanted to go to Florida around that time, nothing. Yeah? So the
No one.
The exotic party. Well, I used to live in Idaho. Let's go to Idaho. Mountain Home, Idaho. You might know this from the Air Force Base. Mr. Antti Savola, which is actually Finnish, wanted to come. His hometown is Mountain Home.
If it's a home.
Born in
Or
Southampton.
if it's an intended
Wanted to come to Mountain Home. Died. Huh? So this is pretty much the loosely translated. I would say this is the Finnish version of Andrew Smith, which puts you back here into Finland. So what you don't know is, if you look all over the place, there are a lot of people from Finland here. These little dots, because they are all located where they're at. So I used to live here. So who came from Finland? Anna Sinkonen, and all these. You can take a look at here. She's a wife. She travels. What you also did not know from the earlier statistics, how many people actually came from Asia. There are actually passengers from Hong Kong on that boat. Power of mapping and visualization.
We found Tokyo.
So small assignment.
Survive.
Usually we do this in class today, cut short. Let's explore more stories. This is homework assignment. There's actually a discussion board on Canvas for that. The story maps. Find a map. Say why it's really cool or not so cool. And share the URL, the link to the map. So everyone can find another student's map and say, hey, I really like that idea. There's everything you can imagine and not imagine now on in story maps. That's really cool stuff. All right, where are we at? Let's run this. Run this and then the accounts. What we're going to take care of today is we're going to deal with ArcGIS Pro. Pretty much time-wise, we are going to start an existing project as part of the tutorial data. We load this up and we will learn what are the specific elements on our display. So we understand, hey, this is table of contents, this is drawing order versus data view, and all these bars on top here. Because they are confusing, all these ribbons. It's different than Excel and all that. We're not going to have the time today to go in depth, what does this mean, what does this do, but at least give you some idea on ArcGIS Pro. There's an online component to that. We'll see how we get there. Because we didn't see, I need to get you on the software today. All right. This has changed. This is going to be now for today, it's going to be _RED. That's the email you just got. Yeah? That's what we're going to do. In a moment, I actually have an account like this set up. So I'm going to do this in front of you on the screen. So it's on the tape, and we all log in at the same time. And we'll figure out if it works or not. Apparently I had a typo in emails last night, so that's the reason why 0 student signed up yet for it, because he never got that email. So you should, last night's email was HTTP. This morning we're going to do with RED at the end, and we swap over certain things. It takes about 2 hours time to set you guys up in the back office. I couldn't do that in the small coffee break. Yeah? Password. The email sends this to you. The first time you log in, you need a password change. My professor is great, exclamation mark is not the preferred password. Okay? Take a password that's meaningful to you, that you will remember, which is somewhat safe. We can change the password at any time, and you send me an email, I can reset those passwords for you. As in, I click on it and you get an email to change it. This is not your email password. Choose something different. So if Friedrich, if this would be a log on for Friedrich, it's supposedly different than from your email for safety purposes. It's more likely that you mess up your email and password after that. Choose something different. Are we going to do business? No. Just killed that. Business Analyst Online, I do a small video and repeat on next week. So I give you like a 5-minute block on demo, how cool is this. This is the stuff with all the demographics and the drive time. I need more time to set you guys up because I need for every student to click a bunch of mouse clicks in the back office. Alright, now we do data. We do have download data today. We'll see. Alright, so this is a diagram on what we're going to do in this class and where we at for every session. Important thing to remember, we are not going to work on all 4 parts. I can make a whole year, every Saturday morning, lecture, and we're barely finishing all the 4 parts. I can make a day of lecture and finish all of them. Learning outcome is 0. We are focusing on this, the navigation in it, map design, how you make all these elements meaningful. Not so much on story maps, but on the layout. Why? Because at some point of time in your career as a student and as a real estate developer, you might want to have a map that you plug in into a report to convey a message to your investors or business partners, or the folks that want to buy a house from you. Huh? Where's your subdivision? Oh, I don't know. Well, do you have an overview map in on your prospectus, on your brochure? I don't know. Google the address. You will never find a customer. Huh? Be upfront, tell them where the place is, and give them even a description. I gave you a description how to find this computer classroom. Just make sure that you're on time. We're going to deal with this part. Geodatabases, geoprocessing, this is where the fun is. Performing spatial analysis, this is where the fun is. We're playing a little bit of 3D, doing a lot of proximity stuff, a lot of data. Particularly on the online platform, Business Analyst. Since yesterday, 2:30 p.m., we have a different license model, and I can say that very proudly. I do not have to be super cheap anymore on giving you points, those online points, for doing online work. Not capping this class at 300 or 400 or 500 points for the whole 8 weeks. With that lab fee, we have thousands of points to be used for a fraction of what you really pay in the real world out there. So if you have not done yet the lab fee, this is essential for this class. That gives you the power of spatial data, not just in this classroom, but in every other class in this program. Quick look up on locations of different businesses, log on ArcGIS Online. You can do that on your phone. Wouldn't recommend it. Laptop is better. But it's very important. Everyone who had classes before knows at some point of time someone pulled out some GIS. And sometimes there was limitations. Development 2 class in spring, I had dozens of students asking, hey, can you give us access again? Do we have still some budget left? As in online points. No problem this time. Seriously, no problem. Monday or Tuesday, I don't know the final number, but I'm looking at potentially 3,000 points per student. Potentially, if not 4.5. A few things I need to talk on the back end. That means you can do major damage with all your assignments. You don't have to care if you digitize, if you want to geocode the 700,000 building permits in Miami-Dade County, like I had a student to do 2 years ago. It's part of this project without telling me. You get this email Saturday morning, 2 a.m. Boom, user has exceeded all the credit points. I'm like, I just taught them yesterday how to do that. Give them points. 10 minutes later, boom, user has exceeded the points. Oh, I have a third email. It's like, are you using this for consulting, or what is this about? I don't know. What's the final project? Came up with a really cool predictive idea, mapping out all building permits in Miami-Dade County at that given time in a specific time frame, ran it over his own SQL server. That's some crazy stuff for a normal student. Filtered, analyzed, patterned on it, ran algorithms on it to find the gap where the next hot market is going to be based on rehab and building activity. Really cool. Drove me nuts. It cost me about 1,500 points on a budget for 400 per student. Huh? And back in the time where I was bargaining for every point. No, we don't. That's the good part of it.
When
No?
you say points, you're talking about the credits that show up on the profile?
Credits on the profile. Right now you should see like 10. Yeah, because I gave you that access like 10 minutes ago based on a data error from my side, and I give you 10 instead of the 3,000. Budget allocation. Fine. So this is where we start today and next week mostly. This is where we're going to end with lots of fun. This is where the work is. Yeah? Try to present it in some other fashion. I think you can see how those segments work out. Those are not silos. Those overlap into each other. But it's nice to see that we are about here. All right? All right. Feature classes. We did that. This is a breakdown. Real estate market analysis gives you a different breakdown in this second or third session. Census data. A census tract is a geographic unit that represents an analytical unit for the Census Bureau. All right, let's filter this down. The agency Bureau of the Census, your census, is using census tracts which are barely to see here on the contrast. They're brilliant on the screen. Similar to states and counties, the slice and dice works for this agency in tracts, blocks, and block groups, yeah, to come down to express all of these outlines are specific areas of interest. You can do this down to a street block. You will probably not see the Chinese family with $10 million annual income on a block level because they diffuse that data. Because if there's only one Chinese family living on that block, you would see the specific ethnic group with this specific income is pointed out in the data. If you add 10 blocks, think street blocks in downtown Fort Lauderdale, if you add 10 blocks together, and you would have 10 families of specific ethnic background with variations in their income, then you would be presented something with the median household income. Yeah? So the closer you are, the best you can get the data, but for some reason, usually for data protection, we are not going to tell you that detail. It's almost like with your soil type on a parcel. Soil type for half of Broward County, yeah, but not for that one parcel. So the more you zoom out, get more and more extent on the map, you get more information. So the average household income in the state of Florida, easy to compute, easy to tell. Household income right now in this building as of University Main Library, probably not. Even if you would have the data, legal issues you might not give away. Yeah. So census tracts, block groups, blocks. This is how you cut this in tranches down. Yeah. Then we have civil divisions, political, like municipalities as an example, counties. It could be, don't have it in here, it could be also a utility district, a water management district, special district, sewer district. Yeah? You could have administrative data, schools, as a dot for a little school location, as a polygon, not dot, point, as a polygon for a school district. If you look at the different areas, not necessarily all schools are in the same area. Sometimes you have one school district for everything in the county. Maybe you have two school districts, depending on your demographics. Yeah? Then you could use polluting companies, if that needed. Water features, but you can see now water features are polygons in this example. The companies are still points. Topographic features, etc., PP. To go through this and close with a 3D extrusion of a block building. So you don't have to have fancy mirror shaded glass on it. Just this is good enough sometimes to give ideas what's going on. All right, let's break here. Let's do something we are actually here for. Let's do the accounts. You found your email? Yeah. So simple, click on this email invite. Hoping it pops out.
I think we're good, actually. He copied the RED.
Yeah, so it remembered me, knows who I am. I have to set a password for that. And since you're a student, it actually asks you a security question. I want to make it. Don't do this at all. Yeah. Standard disclosure. Alright. So all that, I actually did activate this part here that you actually can see your credits on your profile. So at some point, when you look here, this will look different when you log in. So it's Lower Southeastern organization, we go through all these in a moment. If something goes wrong with your computer, before you go nuts, remember, well, it's an important part. Remember the 100 times 100 miles per hour against the wall? This is one of the wall experiences. Before you go nuts, one thing to check if something goes wrong is log in, go to your profile, and you can add a nice picture, you can write who you are, and all that, but you might want to check what's the available credits. And don't say this for tomorrow. In theory, it shouldn't happen. However, depending on your final project, if you go nuts with data, there's a 0 standing there or a negative number. You and I need to talk because you need more money, or not money, but more points on your account. Yeah? The way this is conceptualized right now is you will not run out of points unless you want to georeference all the building permits in Miami-Dade County or in Florida. Again, for the GIS project, keep it simple, keep it local, keep it feasible. I had a student who did a project in Atlanta, was a specific subdivision. Great, but it was very, very painful to find regular data for the area of Atlanta versus Broward County. Here's the webpage, gis.broward.org. Boom, got it. Download everything you need for most of the stuff you need. Differences. Yeah? I had a kid who did historical building and land use data as a rehab project. There's no way that you get data that is 20 years old outside of specific areas of data management. Yeah? What this kid did? Pile of files, put all the historic buildings on the map by himself to tell the story and the data mapping. Yeah? So there are different ways to approach this kind of problem. Data management. Remember that one bubble said data management, this is the work? Yeah. All right, that was the question.
So is that like, stay local based on what you know and have resources for?
All right, this is a software class. I am not teaching you a new way of thing. The purpose of this class is to teach you new methods to advance certain ideas what you have already. Yes, you can do a site analysis in the middle of LA. You can do this with a property around the corner from here. The advantage, property around the corner here, I might be able to talk to the local planning department. I actually can take a picture of that site. I might know that certain data availability is there. You could do an example for Daytona, but I have to tell you one thing. I have zero idea of certain data what you might need for a project. I would need to talk to the county there, talk to the city there, all that.
It's gonna be involving you, helping us, okay, so.
The thing is, not necessarily involving me, but when you pick a non-local example for this purpose of a final project, it could be a wonderful, wonderful task. But data availability for certain ideas is very painful. If you're really stuck with an example in Baltimore, it's different than to call up the GIS director here in Broward County and say, do you have the building footprints? Because we want to do a project that involves 3D modeling. So there's the data availability. It's like, think about this. You go to a library and the book is checked out, but they don't have a book on this topic. What are you going to do? Where else would you go if you go to the library you want and that specific book is not available? That's the reason why we want to do why we do the roadmap exercise, because at some point earlier this semester, you and I need to sit down and I tell you this is doable or not. Again, this final project. This is not climbing Mount Everest. This is being successful going up on 75 and scream, I am the hero. Using all tools available. You do not have to climb Mount Everest to be successful in that final project. I know it's a weird example, but yeah. I make the examples with Burger King and McDonald's. It's fine, cheeseburgers and fries. It doesn't have to be top sirloin steak with a French chef as a cook. If you want to do the top sirloin steak and all the sides, be my guest. I worked as a cook in college. I'm always open for good food. I always explain examples with good food. People hate me in evening classes because at 10 o'clock I tell you still about food. But everyone has seen this screen. Everyone is successfully logged in. Do you all remember your password?
Yeah.
Fine. Then we close this. Then we go to Canvas. Okay, my Canvas will look a little bit different than yours because the amount of classes and other stuff will look different. Going to GIS. I actually can use the student view. Let's see how this. Okay, this is how it should look like for you guys. Then I go to modules. And it should be here, introduction day.zip. Then I click on it. Then I click on it again. In theory, it should download. And then let's open it up. So in my browser right now, it opened up automatically. You might need to go to your download folder and right-click on it. Now, I'm going to press on the Windows. I press Windows E for Explorer. Again, Windows key. Like you also can do right-click here and say File Explorer. Here, File Explorer. So 2 ways to open up a new window here. Right-click, File Explorer. I do drag and drop for you guys. And again, this will look differently from you. I have a folder that's reading this. Let's make this creating new folder on my C drive or C10. Did you get the email about jump drives?
Yeah.
Memory sticks. There's an example why you would use a memory stick right now, because you plug that memory stick in and you save all of that on the memory stick. For the purposes of today, we don't care. It's a zip file we can download, it's training. Nothing we do right now matters in terms of the data saved. It's about getting navigation and move around things. Huh? Recommend a jump drive. Big kudos to Daphne, look at her. Set up on her keychain. Why? Do I have everything? Yeah, go. I occasionally forget my little jump drive. Because it's with the remote. You don't want to do that, because there's your work on it. They usually turn up at the counter desk again, or the front desk. You don't want to lose that backup. Seriously. One thing you don't want to do is, if a deadline is on, let's say, Friday evening at 8, you don't want to send me an email at 6 p.m. Oh, I lost my jump drive. So think about additional backup. Folks that have, folks that depend on being here in the computer classroom, outside of the class, find a way with Dropbox as well. Or do one jump drive, daily operations, and the other one, final projects, class sessions. Backup, backup, backup. The worst thing that can happen to you, and it feels like the worst day in your life, is losing your data on a project you worked and worked and worked. And this is not like, oops, I lost like half a page of my write-up on the paper. This is losing even the idea of a title for your paper. Yeah? Think about that. Just pointing at you. Recent graduate from undergrad. Boom, all your data from undergraduate is gone. Not really a happy moment if you could use it right now in next class. Yeah? So, data backups, be redundant, don't think to be too extreme, but might help. I run Dropbox on everything I do outside of the C folder now. Everything that has my username on it, I run Dropbox. I run this stuff on multiple machines. The moment I save something here, the office is synchronized. I don't use jump drives. I use external disks, because my jump drive is permanently full of stuff. Huh? Different data, different volume. We are not going to use data here in this class that is 15 gigabyte in size, unless you want to do with crazy data on your project. Small little pieces. So 2 or 3 gigabyte, easy going. You can use a jump drive you got as a gift on a fair 5 years ago. It will be fine. Don't buy a $180 jump drive. Don't. Backup, backup, backup. All right. So in any location, prefer right now, we call this GIS class. Create a folder. In theory, you can do this in your download folder. All the data you save locally on your computer, account this as not safe. Those profiles you log in might be deleted overnight. So rather forget your jump drive and pick it up the next day than save something locally. Yeah? For the purpose of the training here, right now, save it somewhere locally, open it up, and what I do is I just drag and drop the introduction day, right click on it, drag and drop, and say copy here. So Windows is extracting for me all of this. If that didn't work for you, you also can say extract all and say where you want to extract it to. For the great mayhem of bad data management, you don't care right now where you extract it to, you just need to find it. If you want to find it, copy and paste that path with Control Z. All right? Then double click on that introduction day folder and take a look on what you see in that folder.
We have one level up. So if you go back here, the computer has a stupid window. Something like this. And say extract, let's do this. Control Windows before Explorer. Just drop it. Probably scroll around.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Again, this is an example for a step we're going to do multiple times. So don't panic right now. If it's completely unclear, I will give you a video, quick video at home with a big bulky headset. And think, okay, this is what we're going to do step by step and do this again. Yeah? In case we have a hurricane, this class goes online. Meaning, stay home, stay safe, depending on the category, leave the freaking state. Yeah?
PC.
I will make sure that you will not lose class time. I call it hurricane lectures. Technically, if the university is closed on that one Saturday or two, technically, yes, I can't give you a lecture. There's no legal requirement for you to do that because school is closed.
There will be no light anyway.
But you don't want to miss on that material. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep an online class, videos, documents, etc., that you can fix this
What
and
if I
catch
don't
up.
have any internet access?
Huh?
What if I don't have any internet access?
We'll figure it out. If you don't have internet access, I probably won't have internet access too. Yeah? Alright, so let's do this. Let's go into the folder, Introduction Day, and you see a few things. So this whole GIS world is funny because what you see in a Windows File Explorer, this stuff, is different what you will see in all the data management tools on the GIS world. In ArcGIS Pro and also in ArcMap or ArcCatalog, I call now the legacy stuff, this will look different. Chapter 1.gb, this geodatabase, will look like a soda can because it's going to be a database. If I click on this, please do not click on this right now. If I click on this, all this is your spatial data. Believe it or not, this is your Pittsburgh. This is medical health clinic data and heart on Pittsburgh. Doesn't look like it. Yeah? Why? Because it's a different format they store it in. So I go back. If you copy and paste by accident something in there, like your write-up for an assignment, that PDF will never show. The only way I can find it is I will go in manually by hand and find it. Done that, been there, still got a good grade. Yeah? So we don't do what we see here, .gdb, we don't want that. Index, we don't want that either. Right now, we don't like all these but intro data. If I double click on intro data, I can see something in a different format. VG clip, big roads, census block. But you also can see here on the side, because I have to preview, they look funny. Some parcels, well, that's data from local management. That's data I put up there last night. Huh? We are not interested in that right now. Huh? Today we just have the aha effect of let's open that new software that's going to kill our nightmares for the next, make our nightmares for the next 3 weeks. So what we're going to do is we find this here. It says tutorial 1. Simply select it right now. Don't be trigger happy with the double click. Now, double click.
Micromanagement.
Sometimes we just select something and move things versus being trigger happy. All right, careful here.
Do you hear the grumbles?
Hold your breath. Hold.
Oh, here it goes.
Hold your breath.
Hold the door. That's like oranges. Takes a while.
Wait a second.
Wait.
Oh, he's coming.
Takes a moment to
My
load.
time to put an order. I still haven't decided. I've been looking at it for the last 20 minutes. It's so amazing. It's like porn. It's really it's nasty.
Okay, so yours didn't open up. Are we on tutorial 1?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone kind of groaned at the same time. I figured it was coming.
You got this?
I don't know what that is. No, I don't. I do not. Nope. You check. Nope. Everyone has a different computer screen up. Like, that's a good sign.
You're on tutorial 1?
Yeah.
Dash red.
Just get rid of that. You know what I mean? So it's just introduction day, and then hit enter.
No, I didn't log in.
So we go back.
So just introduction.
Yeah.
He made it, yes. Right here.
What did I click? I clicked. Yeah, that's what I clicked.
They're stuck there too. Those were the still six. This has been unzipped, so
All right, if ArcGIS Pro, if you do not see that sign in, make sure that you have extracted that zip file, that you open it up and move all the data out. That's going to be your problem. It takes forever.
This is a file over here. No.
Yeah, you're still in. You still have.
For data. Apple so much easier.
I'm glad that you said it to do it now.
And then where do we want to put it?
name, user, ID.
Enter data. What do you think, right?
You guys are the same line?
Yeah.
Dealing with the labs.
So where did you do your undergraduate? So how long you been out? You're not even shaving yet.
Oh, 22? Still young.
Yeah, we're waiting for him to do his lab because were you able to extract the data?
Yeah, I just have this licensing screen.
Cool. I see.
Extract tutorial 1.
Okay. And then what is that? What did you do?
I don't know. I just
Okay. Yeah. And then click. I also.
I'm the star of this video.
No, you're not getting it.
Oh, right here.
I have, like, sometimes your head pops in the corner, but it's actually.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, like, try not to, please.
I'm trying to find. No, I'm trying to find. No.
I'm gonna become a YouTube celebrity.
You will be.
I'm trying to find the file.
I don't think you're teaching it.
You're still unpacked.
Off this. Off by it.
This is kind of like, mine is like single use license and like when I hit okay. There's like, they put their username in and stuff. I don't really know how we got it.
Are we good here?
They're bad or I'm bad.
Did you take anything else? Did you move anything else? Did you do anything beyond what I told you?
I don't think so.
Didn't.
We signed in.
We even done it. All we did is extract it. So, like,
Okay. Well, welcome to the show.
you guys see anything?
Right.
Oh, we gotta push is okay.
So who gets a license error right now?
We're not even getting there. Oh, look, she got something.
You're still not extracted.
I clicked
Licensing.
If you guys see plus a green plus and minus sign on the top on your window, you are not extracted yet. So if you're going here, give me a moment. We might have to deliver.
Oh, I'm gonna put it in the sheet. I'm gonna put it down here. Yeah.
This account is not
We're not authorized.
Oh, wait.
I clicked okay.
Did you put in your name?
You're not extracting. It's not extracting.
I need to talk to the tech.
Okay. You gotta go back here.
Okay. Wait. Hold, guys, hold your horses. Listen. If you go to the download window and you have here up here, instead of what you see, plus and minuses, you have not yet extracted your documents. We're going to spend a moment on this so you extract the documents the right way. All right? Who has not yet those extractions? Let me show you one thing. You have it, yeah?
Yeah, we just got it.
You have a screen you're supposed to have.
Yeah, I'm trying to help him.
So, you have a screen you're supposed to have.
Yeah.
Let's wait for it. Yeah.
How do I get? No, he could not. I'll answer that question for him. No, can you? Hold on. Sorry to cut you off.
It's possible. It's possible I'll be able to do it.
So I have it downloaded, obviously.
Did you extract?
Don't do anything else.
No, I'm not. When I do it, see what pops up.
No, it says that.
I mean, I think this is already extracted, so I don't think it should matter. You know what I mean? I think
Not
Now you're
over
just
the
right here.
the folder to
Double
like,
click tutorial
set.
one. Right, hit that.
Then
It opened up.
Then we go, what was it, introduction to?
Alright, so who has now extracted their data?
Then we go on tutorial.
Touchdown.
No more green plus and minus signs on top of your screen. You see
Oh, you
the
have a
regular
license.
piece.
I put mine
Why do you have a license?
I can tell you.
That's the
Did you get the screen?
I'm sure I'm gonna get that one.
Tutorial one.
Oh, might probably have to.
Because it opens markets, right? Or GIS.
Alright. Are you guys okay?
Licensing issue.
I have one license issue.
Oh,
This one.
This one is over here too, license.
Oh, this is, he's got the same thing you have.
Oh, yeah. He's in single use over there? You got single use?
Yeah, you can't change it. But we could change it here for you guys. Didn't you? One.
Theirs was good, mine was just.
So this throws me off.
I think it might be.
Alright, well.
It says your authorization.
We can do a demo and we'll fix the technology problems in a moment. Yeah, who called me?
I'm having a license issue.
I'm having a license issue and a heart attack.
It's okay, you know CPR.
Yeah.
Hey, so did Robert get a job?
I don't know.
I just emailed him. I said, hey, there's a new guy here named Ryan.
I send him snaps and stuff every once in a while, like your office smells bad still, stuff like that. Just
Some of the students.
your office still smells like.
He was a good guy.
Oh yeah.
He's still good.
Just wait on the
Still.
because you can't change that.
Very helpful.
Okay. So for the time being,
The same thing.
you're still in this room. So go back here with one click up there on the folder sign here, the little green button. Take this one and say extract. Right click on it. One click only. Right click on it and say extract. Somewhere. I don't see this.
Oh, no, I think.
Why doesn't it extract here? Or minus extract. I'm just saying whatever it wants. Just keep it. Just have to find it. Right, and go to the
When did it?
Windows Pro. And you go to this PC. C drive. And then you'll find a folder. It's called
Then
GIS.
I'm gonna go right.
Intro deck. Okay. So So what we're going to do is now we're going to figure it out. Improvise with that. For those who had a licensing error, sorry guys, we got to fix this. It's not you, it's the computer.
Sign in with Facebook?
No.
Yeah.
So for those who probably see this issue here as licensing,
You don't have an option, do you?
for some, all this is gray.
Yes.
For a reason I cannot explain, because you are all the same student user. Yeah? For some, you could click here and say named user license. If you can open this box and say named user license, please do so.
Okay.
The ones that are grayed out is maybe single-use license, and we need to fix this. Probably Monday, end of day. And click OK. If everything works fine, you should see a ArcGIS sign-in like this. Please, I need to do that because I'm using multiple accounts. Set this off here as the automatically sign-in. Do not activate that. And then you use the username you just changed the password for with the _ RED. So in my case,
We just did this stuff.
my user,
I forgot what it was.
the one we just created,
Let me go check your email.
and I don't want to
It's all
remember
good.
that password. And now,
No, it says unable to log in.
Unable to sign it.
Paul
Because we're
Ballou.
signed in already?
no, because I know new users and you know
Oh, balloon.
all that.
Yeah, I knew what it was. I was checking.
Now we're way
Give me a
out.
moment.
Well, at least I'm there now.
Hey, I'm extracted though. Sure, why not?
Remember I said I
You
need
thought it
to
was
switch
gonna work or not?
to,
I didn't think it.
buttons for you guys. Let's do this.
Again or not?
Your Mac.
Yeah.
Sometimes my fingers get excited and I click the wrong one.
I live over
Alright. I was gonna type it in again to see if it would work.
Yeah.
No, he said it.
Fine. You could use it, right, on the Surface? It's not, it's like, it runs Windows.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Surface does. No, it's not Surface. It's the Lenovo Yoga.
Okay, but it's Windows.
Yeah. Yeah, I just bought it last night from Best Buy. Pretty cool. But like,
I'm gonna try, I have my Mac, I'm gonna try doing the Powerballs thing he was talking about.
Okay, try it now.
To try to run it on the Mac.
but he said it was like a, not the full version. That's not true. You know, I was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna.
All right, another attempt to try this. For those who are not able to log in right now, look at the screen next to you with your fellow students, or follow here. So I typed in my account, activated on the back end, activated the ArcGIS Pro license, signed in, and fingers crossed. You all should get an email right now that you have been assigned to a new account. We're going to catch up. This is where you make the critical decision: are you switching half a day before class into a complete new system because after a whole summer of working on it, they finally get you there, or are you just saying I'm doing it next week and going to have less fun? So this is live. Yeah, this is not screened, all that. All right. Of those who are able to sign in, give me a hand. How many are looking at the screen right now? All right.
I can try again.
This is disastrous.
Oh,
You got it.
Put in your password. Try it again.
All right.
Pretty exciting stuff going on over here.
Guys, quick overview. We have 18 more minutes, lots of chaos right now, so give me 10 more minutes of your attention. Yeah. We'll just switch gears a little bit next week. We have a lot of theory today, lots of preparation. Let's make sure we at least get a little bit, switch down. More, can we switch off more lights?
That would help.
Maybe better. This is on purpose. Switch off emails, otherwise we will never get this class done. This is tutorial data on purpose. Why? So you guys see what this can look like. It's downloadable, it's part of the textbook. So you can go anytime back to that. Important things I want to point out right now is here on the top right. In the moment of successful login and being connected to the web, it would actually give you a sign-in status. If you click carefully here, it gives you the username, the organization, etc. That's good enough. Just in case something goes wrong with the login, you want to make sure which user account. In theory, you all have your student's account. Yeah? I'm going to work on the back end, so I'll give you a bunch of more emails to read. I apologize that technology is failing you guys this morning. We'll get there. Promise. Yeah? All right. So, this whole thing right now in ArcGIS Pro, similar to the Microsoft suites, Office, etc., up here in the ribbon area, we have different tools, yeah? Based on different categories. The major category is project. Looks like a Microsoft Excel or a Word. You open it up, see the different projects here, you have options, etc. We should not really care about that. In a typically installed environment, we should not care. Alright? Then, because a project can contain multiple maps, we have an area that's called map. We have navigation here. Tells you in a very nice way how you can navigate. A lot of that stuff is completely by instinct. As in, I zoom over there with my mouse, move my wheel, my mouse wheel, and I have this kind of zoom in experience. For the fun of the contrast, let's get rid of the black and white and I do something different. Huh? Well, I played it with last night, so maybe I had it on my cache. It does work like internet browser. If you have been to that site before, it usually looks the same. It's faster. Huh? All right, so this one in the background right now is what we call raster data. In the front, all the squares right now, locations of clinics, is vector data, symbolized with a square. Yeah? Again, intuitively, super easy to move around. I can change this left and right. Also, by accident, can really get confused and disappears. First rule of thumb, if something disappears, it's not necessarily your fault, you just lost it. I know I was looking at the Medical Express clinics. What I can do is, I right-click on it, and I get like hundreds of different options that will drive you nuts. But one cool thing is this function called zoom to layer. This is really cool because if you do some work, particularly with data you create, and you're suddenly on a wide screen in the middle of nowhere, and you don't know if you scroll left, right, up, and down, it was like being in a room, like where am I going? The zoom to layer, if you left click it, will find everything which is in that layer and shows it on in the one extent. This is like the Hail Mary beacon find me. Yeah, this is like having like a big fire in your hand, a torch, and say, hey, Coast Guard, find me, I'm here. Kilo Mia. Alright, more things to know. I have the navigation. I can do fixed zoom ins. If the wheel is too stressful, whoa, you know. I have full extent, little earth button here, because I could be in the whole earth. And all these other functions. Right now, this is about time and labeling. Labeling as in all the locations I want to put in. Yeah? Because everyone has a name in here. This is time consuming, particularly if you redraw all the time all these labels. Time consuming as in, I don't really care about my label right now, I can switch it off, or I can pause it. We'll get there. Well, this is database work. Remember, I told you about the table behind it. See, select by attributes. We'll get there. Cool thing, what I would like to point out is how to add new data. This is a function, this is a base map. If I click on the base map, I can find whatever is available in ArcGIS Online and can plug that in. So, for example, I want to do imagery of labels. It's updating the base map. If I'm here on the drawing order, this is content, or table of contents. I can highlight left and click on and off. So if you know the area, this might be even better for you. So again, I say this with a bunch of decades of doing all this on a regular basis. For you, this is maybe brand new. Stuff like this, zoom in, zoom out, we know this from Google Maps. Every user in this room has a smartphone. You have seen this before. Yeah? So simple things. If I go here on the yellow, the Met Express buffer, if I just double click this, I could now find pre-selected ideas and say, well, I want to have it pink, and then just say exit out.
How do you get the map again?
Base map. Yeah? I go with aggressive colors. Oh, actually, you can see the pink better. So then I'm wondering, hey, if this is like Google Maps, why is it actually cut off here? Well, the great power of GIS is I can concentrate my focus on what I call a map extent. I can say, only this area is of interest. This is Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania. Would I need to scroll in and scroll out everything around that town? Am I really, really, really interested, let's say, in Harrisburg or even Philadelphia? No, I'm not. So why would I have all this data back in and out all the time and rendering and loading when I can do this as an app here? Today we're not going to switch it on and off. We're going to do the next time. One thing as well is here it says feature layer. Remember I talked about point, line, and polygon? Well, here you have an appearance, the idea on setting this up in a different way. Let's zoom in so you can see what I mean. First of all, I can say at what scale level here my buffer shall be displayed or not. See, if I zoom in closer, now it's gone, because I'm at 65,000 as a scale. When I set at 86,000 here, it will appear. So if I'm close up, I don't need that orange, pink, yellow buffer thing. If I'm closer out here, I want that, because now it makes sense to show the proximity of my neighborhoods with that location. If I'm here, I'm literally standing on the parking lot. Yeah, don't need that. But you also see now the label came up and showing where I'm at. Let's focus on the buffer. If I don't want to have that as a see-through or transparent detail, I can just simply here with feature layer appearance, I just say, you know what? 0%, 93%, and what's a good point? 35 is usually a good number, as an example. So I can make that map with just a move of my mouse, really cool, appear in a different way. Why? That's part of map design and layout next week. Because I want to deliver the most essential message to you. If the most essential message to you means I don't care about the base map, I only want to show my buffers, that's good enough. Or do I want to give you more context and background of locations, let's say in downtown, but I want you to show that this is actually part of something more important, and therefore I use transparency as a see-through. Remember, this is about layers. You put your real world back again like a layer cake. At some point you want to see through all of these at some level of information. Yes, please.
So are we able to save this and it would make a legend for us while we save it?
Next week. Yes. Yes. I want you, on my side, I'm going to fix your login problems. Promise. Huh? Gotta do it, otherwise we have a problem with the whole class. Gotta fix this. The serious part is that it didn't pop up on all the other machines, so we'll fix this. Huh? Until next week, what I want you to do is play with the first 2 chapters in the tutorial book. The first chapter, the read and review, is fairly what we started right now here. Tells you little things. This is content on the side. This is your mapping interface, not yet your layout. This will look different. This is where you move things around. This is where you make your analysis. How you change things with labels. How you change your data. And you can see there a bunch of good, wonderful buttons. Back in the day, on the other side of the software, it's a table, just a name.
Mine only shows like a map on the right side.
We'll come back to you on a moment. Yeah? So, depending on which ribbon you're in, you can do different pieces. Depending on which layer you click on here, this will change here. Take a look. I'm moving from MetExpress buffer down to, let's say, the poverty index. If I click on poverty index, the top here changes, the tools will change. Yeah.
So if we want to do it on our own personal computer, when we get the textbook, that's how we do the program?
Yes, you can download it. I will send you a how-to later tonight. You can download the software, you can license the software. In theory, you are, as a so-called named user with your account, you are licensed already. The reason why I do a named user on these machines is that every student can log in on this machine. Right now you can't. Otherwise I'm going to put a so-called single station license on without asking you for your online account, but it's more complicated. Technical issues, my job to solve them. So please, until next week, read your emails. I will send out some more information. I need you to get running on this to solve the technical issues from my side. Review textbook chapter 1 and start playing with 2. Focus on getting to know the software as in, oh, this button is here. Did I close it? Other panic, let me finish one more. Other panic button. It's all about how to stay sane in this class. If for some reason content disappears, let's have it disappear. You can drag and drop this, by the way. If you don't like it to the left, you could move it to the right. For some reason, if it disappears, here, the ribbon called View. Guys, look at the screen. This is important. The ribbon called View, you have a bunch of tools here. If for some reason your content with all the layers on and off switches is gone, it's this one here, Content. And depends where you placed it, it will reappear. I prefer to have it on the left. So if this for accident disappears, it's not broken. Yeah? It's just find it under View, Content. Just bring it back. There are a lot of so-called dockable windows. You can switch back and forth. Recommend a large screen. I have a screen larger than this at home. It looks completely different for me right now. Review chapter 1 and 2. I get your licensing running. We'll work this out. Thank you for your time today. Lots of listening, lots of excitement. My job, again, is not to make your life miserable. My job is to reduce your anxiety about this new software.
No, not for these classes.
Does make me excellent. That too.
See you at 12:30 in the business school building. We're in what, 297? 20?
Carl DeSantis, 2097.
Yeah. That's the second floor.
It's gonna be a real dumb question.
Okay, so, mark it out.
Power bucket, right?
That weekend is the last weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sign it.
Sorry.
Oh, you're done?
That's an email.